Can you tell us whether this bus driver has been fired yet? What is his name? Do you think it's appropriate for a bus driver to dress like a little girl with a revealing skirt? Hi, sir. I see you drive for Landmark.
No comment, man.
Do you know who the Little Bo Peep driver is?
No, I don't know. Ask the Prime Minister, I don't know, man.
The Prime Minister.
It's really sad that we've come to that in this country where you can't do what's right to protect your children without a political backlash.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at the Vaughan, Ontario headquarters of Landmark Bus Lines. And we're here to do a follow-up on a man who is perhaps the most infamous school bus driver in the world. Before I get to the nitty-gritty, folks, can you help us out? We have employed our glorious Jumbotron-equipped truck. We're here to send a message to Landmark that the behavior of this driver and his signage is inappropriate and must be stopped. Please go to transmadness.com. That's transmadness.com. Sign the petition, and if you're able to, kindly make a donation so that we can pay the expenses of our truck. My thanks in advance. Now, we don't know this man's name, but we do know he likes to dress as Little Bo Peep, and he likes to display signage in the bus on the windshield, which is downright disturbing. It says the Lolita Line. Now, Lolita is linked with pedophilia. Remember Jeffrey Epstein's plane, the Lolita Express? And of course, it's got roots going back to that 1955 novel by the same title. Why in the world would a man dress as a little girl and conjure up the name Lolita? It's absolutely baffling and disturbing. Now, as you may recall, this received enormous public attention last month when a group of parents at a Vaughan Catholic school recorded the bus driver in action. Here, check it out.
And I don't think there's any trouble.
So you picked up the kids dressed like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Why do you call your bus the Lolita Line? Why is it called the Lolita Line? Why is it called the Lolita Line?
Somebody's gonna talk to sick people.
Like when people are mentally sick, you can't talk to them. Let them drive. Yeah.
Now, naturally, we have sought comment from Landmark Bus Lines, but unfortunately, no comment is forthcoming, rather than threats of having us trespassed off the property. Here, check out our visit a couple of weeks ago. But why aren't you making a statement to the media?
Are you trespassing at the moment?
Pardon?
Are you trespassing? So we'll call the police.
You're going to call the police?
Yes.
Well, that's a good idea, because maybe we can talk to them about this bus driver.
Okay,
Do you think, I'll leave, but you think it's appropriate for him to have the Lolita Line and dress as a little girl?
No comment.
Does he work here anymore?
No comment.
Okay, well, I don't understand why you deal with the public school boards and you're not accountable to the public, sir.
No comment.
Okay, then. So you approve of this?
No comment.
Okay. Who's told you to say that?
No comment.
What is your position here, sir?
Standing up. No comment.
That is unbelievable, and I think it is irresponsible. Yes, Landmark Bus Lines, it's a private company, but they are employed by public school boards. They are entrusted with the health and safety of minors, including elementary school-age children. Why the vow of silence when it comes to this creep? It is incredible. I should note, on the plus side, after our report aired last month, a spokesman for the York Catholic District School Board informed us that this driver is persona non grata going ahead. So in other words, next semester, he is not allowed to pick up or drop off students at York Catholic District School Board schools. But of course, there are other school boards out there, and we know that Landmark services summer camps. So is this driver interacting with children even over the summer months, and what's going to happen when school resumes in September? I think these are very important questions. And we have tried very hard, folks, to get answers. Landmark won't speak to us other than threatening us. I've also reached out to Connor, Clark, and Lunn Infrastructure. That is the Toronto-based parent company of Landmark Bus Lines. They're the majority owner. And radio silence. I've sent emails and phone calls to the president of the parent company. That would be Matt O'Brien. And the head of transportation, Ryan Lapointe. Again, our calls and emails have not been returned. But why? As well, I've reached out to the Ontario Ministry of Transportation. That is the government body that is responsible for regulating school buses. And yet again, zero response. But that's how the Doug Ford Progressive Conservatives operate these days, folks. If they don't like the nature of your questions, they won't answer. But isn't it funny how in 2018, when Doug Ford first ran, one of the prominent promises was to rein in the radicalized sex ed curriculum in Ontario schools, and what's happened? It's gone even worse than the McGuinty-Wynne years. Recall a few years ago, the most infamous shop teacher in the world, that would be Busty Lemieux, wearing his fake Z-cup breasts. The then education minister, Stephen Lecce, was completely useless in dealing with that. And now we have a school bus driver dressed as a little girl and channeling pedophilia, and for the MTO, nothing to see here, folks. And folks, as you can see, we are doing everything we can to identify this driver, to get answers, to protect children. But I think at this stage, we need your help. Do you know who this guy is? Can you help us identify him? Please go to transmadness.com. Once again, transmadness.com. If you can give us any leads as to who this person is and why his egregious behavior is being tolerated by Landmark, I greatly appreciate the assistance. Thank you in advance. Can you tell us whether this bus driver has been fired yet? What is his name? Do you think it's appropriate for a bus driver to dress like a little girl with a revealing skirt? What about a sign that says the Lolita Line? You know, it's amazing. You are entrusted with the health and safety of minors, and yet you have somebody who is channeling pedophilia themes driving a school bus? Why are you protecting this individual, ma'am? Are you not embarrassed by the coverage this is receiving internationally? You know, I can understand your silence. I would be ashamed to say anything too if this was a coworker. Look at that. Do you think that's appropriate? Seriously? How do you react to the York Catholic District School Board saying that this bus driver is persona non grata at its schools? Is he servicing other schools? What about summer camps? Oh, hi, ma'am. Are you with Landmark too? Do you think this is appropriate, ma'am? Do you think somebody dressing like that is appropriate? Well, they locked the door on me. Hi, sir. I see you drive for Landmark.
No, come on, man.
Do you know who the Little Bo Peep driver is?
No, I don't know. The Prime Minister, I don't know, man.
The Prime Minister. You are an eyewitness. You have seen this man dressing up as a little girl. When you first saw it, what were you thinking?
Well, at first, because it was Gay Pride Month, I thought it was just somebody dressing up for their festive month, and which I guess is fine, other than it being around kids. But once we figured out that this person was not only around the kids, he was a bus driver to the school, it became a very big concern for myself and everybody there.
Is the signage saying the Lolita Line, that conjures up themes of pedophilia? When you saw the sign as well as how this man was dressed up, how did that make you feel?
Highly, highly concerned, especially since the connotation brings up child pedophilia, child grooming. It became a major, major red flag for myself and the whole community. So the fact that Landmark isn't addressing that and not bringing that to a bigger light is highly concerning, especially since what that refers to. It's really sad that we've come to that in this country where you can't do what's right to protect your children without a political backlash or having to worry about cancel culture coming after you for essentially protecting our kids. Now, what people do behind closed doors is their business. I don't care if you're white, black, red, white, straight, gay, binary, non-binary, trans. It doesn't matter. No one cares, and most people don't care. But when you do that stuff and you perform those acts and you dress that way in front of our little kids with impressionable minds, it becomes a very big problem for myself and the communities around us.
I think you're right about that. Final thought, Ted. The good news, I think, is that the York Catholic District School Board were very proactive when our story was published. They released a statement saying basically this driver is persona non grata at our schools moving forward. I spoke to a spokesman with the York Public School Board, and he said he's never been involved in picking up children at those schools. But the thing is, Landmark deals with other school boards. Landmark deals with summer camps. So he might be out there. He might still be active. They won't say yes or no if he's been fired. Final thought goes to you.
Well, I'm glad they took the first steps. It's a step in the right direction, but I don't think it's enough. Again, when it comes to kids, public, Catholic, doesn't matter. The people shouldn't be around kids that are going to cause them to raise questions which they're not mentally mature to understand the answers for yet.
Well, folks, this is our truck driver, Mark, and I thought I'd get Mark on camera because before he accepted our position, he used to be a driver for the Toronto Transit Commission. Unfortunately, Mark is one of these people who ran afoul of COVID coercion, and he's no longer with the TTC, but we might have an update on that in the months ahead. But Mark, I thought I'd get you on camera because, well, you weren't a school bus driver, but you were a driver with the public transit system. Tell me, when you were with the TTC, were there rules and regulations regarding a dress code and what kind of signage you could put in the vehicles?
Yes, absolutely. There was. It was quite strict, actually.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So if you showed up at work, God forbid, as Little Bo Peep with half your butt hanging out of a skirt and putting a poster in a vehicle saying the Lolita Line, what would have happened?
Well, as soon as TTC would catch wind of that, or let's say when you go in to report for your shift and they see you dressed like that, you wouldn't even be going to your bus or subway. You'd be relieved of duty on the spot.
Folks, have you had it up to here with what I call transanity? That's the intersection in which radical transgenderism collides with, well, insanity. If so, please go to our website, transmadness.com. We have a teacher who is dressing up as a drag queen in Ontario. That would be Busty Lemieux. We have another school bus driver dressing up as, a perverse version of Little Bo Peep. It's completely unacceptable. Please go to transmadness.com, sign the petition, and if you can help us out with our expenses for our truck, please donate $1 or $3. I greatly appreciate your support, folks. Thank you.